Well, hello, Jason. Great to see you today.
Hey Holly, how are you?
I'm wonderful. Thank you. I thought it would be great for us to touch on something that an IT administrator in K-12 thinks about a lot these days. Cybersecurity. How do I protect our network? All of those things they think about, but a lot of times I don't think they think, "Hey, access networks, you could help us with our communications, but you also could probably help us make sure our communications are secure and also our entire environment." I thought maybe you could touch on that for us today.
Yeah, that's a great point. When it comes to the security around, any sort of phone equipment, you really do have to pay attention. Um, it's so easy to think that it's just a phone and it's no big deal, but there are some horror stories out there where if you're not staying on top of the firmware on the phone itself, it's just one example. Someone could just hack in there, and then next thing you know, they're sending all the calls to what's called a pumping station, and it's just racking up the charges. I don't understand why that still exists in today's world, but it does. And that would, those charges would fall onto the customer itself. So what we do is we're coming in here and building a plan around making sure that all the equipment is, all patched up, ready to rock and roll, and you're protected. So everything's like password protected, following all the best practices of, making sure that web GUIs don't have anything default that's on there. But then after it leaves the phone, then you have a whole network all the way through the internet, and then in the World Wide Web that you have to deal with. And we're also there every step of the way. So, at the customer site, you have network switches, which we can help with, and we also put in edge router, which also is part of the traffic shaping, so we can ensure QoS. But everything has to be secure. Everything has to be locked down, and we're using all of the enterprise grade tools and notifications and alerts. So my help desk is staying on top of anything that doesn't look right.
Oh, that is so good and so important, and which I think is really speaks a lot to what we've talked about before and how you come in and you provide that customization. You take a holistic approach of everything that's in that environment to ensure you provide the best possible solution to helping them have good communications, but secure communications. And
Yeah,
I
for
think
sure.
that will help IT administrators really sleep well at night.
Yeah, we're here to partner with them. So, are some of our customers enterprise grade and they have, like, the best of the best teams working on it? Of course, So then it's just layering our communications there, and they're managing everything else. There's a healthy blend in between, or we can be a full service provider for them. So we can provide the managed switches, which protects them from, let's say broadcast storms or rogue devices or DHCP devices being plugged in and wreaking havoc on their network. We can help lock that down, or partner with them to ensure that with their equipment, it is also locked down. And then from the edge perspective, which we call the router, everything is again secure. We're locking down where traffic can come and go to. We touched on the 4G backup, and that's where that device, has that connection available. But the name of the game is that with the traffic being encrypted, that means no one can sniff it out, and that should get everyone some peace at night.
I love that. The end-to-end secured communications. I love that. It's wonderful. I think all the IT administrators out there that are looking at upgrading their communication systems should talk to you guys. At least even come in and do a health check and make sure that everything they're doing is good. But also, they need to talk about having the secured communications that y'all can customize for them. I appreciate that,
Yeah,
Jason.
absolutely. Yeah, for sure. And I'll end with this. There are some buildings that have some very old wiring in there, and we have a lot of different solutions too that are also secure. So if we're going to put in a Wi-Fi, access point mesh network, or traverse over Cat3 old cabling, we can do all the above to find a way to bring a connection to those devices.
More and more services that I keep learning that y'all do. It's so fabulous. I love it, Jason. Well, thank you. I appreciate your time today.
Thank you very much for having me.
Have a good one.